and I've actually got you my picks. So, first thing I want to do is start off with this Bulls-Atlanta game because it is going to be the game that is the first one of the day. You might want to use it to start your parlays and then leave it out of the rest of your action. I tend to do that. So I went into a little deep here. Sorry, I want to make sure that I have everything working. I just screwed up the first 2 times, so we're going to see here. Sorry, I want to make sure that I have everything working. Perfect. Okay, and now I have chat up so I can talk to people too. Alright, so the first thing I noticed in watching the last couple games for the Bulls is they're not that great at guarding dribble handoffs. I need that entirely off. But yeah, the Bulls are not that good at guarding dribble handoffs. They need Lonzo and Caruso back to really get into that. Bulls are good in transition offense. Yes, they get out and score, and the way they do it, the way they get those overs every night, pretty much all the time, is by getting out in transition. They go quick. They're up and down the court very fast. That's how they lead to success. And the Bulls tend to crash one of the corner shooters for the offensive glass. I don't know what that means in the long term. I just expect them to be able to get maybe 1 or 2 extra boards, but I mean, going against the Hawks, Clint Capella down there is gonna be a beast, and I truly just think that he's gonna take over the game as far as rebounding. I don't think Vucevic stands a chance when it comes to crashing the glass and getting those boards, and I understand why the Bulls send that extra man from the corner on pretty decent occasion. But they also tend to help inside on defense. Whenever the ball handler gets past his guy, they send someone, and it tends to leave the corner open. So it's going to hurt them against good shooting teams, like the top teams in the league, which they have definitely struggled against. And then the last time these two played each other was actually a week ago, and it took a 37-point performance from DeRozan and 20 from Levine, so 57 combined between their top 2 players to win against the Hawks a week ago. And that's Trae Young only had 14. Only made 3 shots from the field the whole game. Went 3 of 17 shooting on 0 of 5 from 3. Gallinari and Bogdanovic did get some scoring going. They had 53 between the two of them. 26 for Gallinari and 27 for Bogdanovic. I expect maybe 30 between the two of them today, but I expect Trae Young to be up in the 30s. And now you're getting Levine and DeRozan, who's cooled down, who I think maybe combine for 52 at best. So 5 points coming back that way. You get 16 more from Trae. And heck, what was the score in that game? Did I not write down what they lost by in that game? I did not. I think it was 6. I believe it was 6. I'm double checking. No, it was 4. So the Bulls barely won by 4 points. And it took 57 from their top 2 guys, and Trae Young only put up 14 on 3 of 17. I expect him, if he shoots 17 shots again, he's making 8 of those. And you're telling me Gallinari and Bogdanovic, I know they probably both won't combine to go over 20 again. They both might 35 maybe between the two of them. I say 30 just to be safe, but honestly, I think 35 is pretty good bet as well. But yeah. Anyway, Atlanta is playing to stay in the play-in, whereas Chicago just lost the 1 seed, and I feel like Miami's just a better team and going to end up hanging on to that. I don't know if the Bulls really are about to continue to go on. I believe I've heard they have a really tough schedule remaining. Don't quote me on that. So take that with a grain of salt. That's just something I think I've heard, and I'm going out on a whim saying it right now, but I believe they have a pretty tough schedule remaining, and they haven't done good against top teams at all. And then the Bulls have won all 3 meetings this year, and it's hard to sweep a 4-game series in the regular season. And Atlanta's been chipping away, making it closer every time. So I'm taking Atlanta money line on this game. I think they get this game outright. All right, moving on to the next game. We've got the... Oh, I don't even have it up right now on what team. I'm just going to go look real quick. Come on. Alright. Alright, so it's the Grizzlies at the Celtics. Okay. And in the Celtics' last 5, they've got a win against Atlanta, a loss in Indiana, a win in Detroit, a win in Brooklyn, and a loss to Detroit. This is going to be their first real This is going to be their first real opponent in a while. And I think it's going to show. They're missing Jaylen Brown. I think Grizzlies win by pretty decent margin. And I understand, because this line, when I saw it, well, no, I saw it last night. And it was the Grizzlies were favored last night. This morning when I woke up, I saw 2.5. And I'm like, what? I'm going to be able to get the Grizzlies plus money? I put $80 on it the second I saw plus 2.5. I've got that $80 straight bet Grizzlies money line. Just immediately went and put it on there. Wanted to make sure it was locked up. No chance of missing that. But yeah, Morant has been hot, and it's been like he had 47, which was a season high, and then 52 the game after it. Season highs for sure, but they could have been career highs as well. And then Tatum in his last 4 games, they're all above 24. And today's his birthday. I honestly think he goes cold going against one of the better defenses. Not one of the top 10 maybe. Maybe they're top 10, I'm not sure. But I believe they're in the top half. And yeah, I just feel like he's going to struggle to keep up without his partner. I know he does better with the ball in his hands. But I just think this Grizzlies defense is going to be enough to slow him down and keep him to under 24. So that would be a player prop that I might play later. I would need to put more money in them. I put my whole account on my parlays and Grizzlies already. But if I had any extra money, I might sprinkle on that Tatum under. And like I said, no Jaylen Brown tonight. Derek White had his most points on the team. Most points as a Celtic after Jaylen Brown got injured. I believe he had 18. I think that's what it was. But that was the most he's had yet. So I expect Derek White to have another game where he almost gets 20. But like I said, I'm thinking Jason Tatum's going to go under tonight on his points. So it makes sense for other people to get more points tonight. But yeah, for the game, give me the Grizzlies money line at plus 120. Moving on to Miami at Brooklyn. So Miami's traveling from Milwaukee, where they just lost by 1, and Brooklyn came home 2 nights ago from Toronto, where they just lost by 1. Both these teams are coming off rough losses, and Brooklyn is getting KD back. But take out the last 10 games for both these teams. Brooklyn had 29 wins at that time, and Miami had 33, so they were a lot closer before KD went out. And KD's been out for 16. Last 10 is the number I found. Made it quick and easy. But it just shows you how much closer these two teams are when they have their players healthy. My initial pick on this game was I wanted to take the Nets at plus 2.5. Now, I didn't end up getting that bet in. I saw the line move. Well, I didn't see the line move. The line ended up moving to 1.5, minus 1.5 for Brooklyn. So, I really don't want to take Brooklyn minus the points because I wanted to believe in KD, so I was leaning a little bit and just thinking KD's going to have a big night on his first night back, but it's Miami. It's a tough defense. You've got Bam down low. It's going to make it hard to score inside. Honestly, it makes it really hard to pick this game. But I think giving Durant back into this lineup is just going to take away from the scoring of Curry and a couple other guys like Patty Mills on the Nets. Miami still has a really good defense. Brooklyn's probably going to score a little bit more. And Miami will probably score a little bit less with the return of KD. Which is why this line really is so close. They have it as a neck-and-neck game. Personally, I think Miami can win this game with when the Nets have Kyrie and Ben Simmons, and I believe I believe that the Heat can win this game against the Nets. I really think they're the best team in the East for a reason. They're going to be able to pick games apart. So if you're giving the Nets no Kyrie, no Simmons, and you're giving the Heat points, who are the 1 seed in the East, I'm taking it strictly on principle. Alright, hold on. I'm going to check the live real quick, see if we have any comments that I need to respond. Alright. But yeah, I really think Bam Adebayo is going to be the difference maker of this game. He's better than Andre Drummond for sure. Only thing I can say is if you don't like either side, like I struggled to pick this game, I would say take some Bam Adebayo props. I would go over on his rebounds probably. Maybe just double for Bam, or play the under on the game. It's got to be one of the two. You got to play the under on the game. That's the one thing I can say. Kevin Durant being back is going to help the Brooklyn Nets defense. I know he's not a great defender, but he's long. He has size. I believe the line moved up. I didn't get to see the line this for the total, but yeah, I would say take the take the under if you can't pick a side here. But I'm my play for the game is going to end up being Miami plus 1.5. You can't give me the 1 seed plus points. I got to take it on principle. Moving on, we've got I believe it's the Detroit Pistons at the Raptors, yes. So Detroit is ending its 3-game road trip today and currently is is half a game ahead of Orlando for the best lottery odds, and they already beat Charlotte on this road trip. I don't expect this team to win it in this game at all. I don't see a way for them to win. I think Toronto comes out and here, let me just get to that. Toronto's had a bad start out of the All-Star break, but answered with 2 wins in their last 2 games. Detroit is at the point where they know they aren't playing for anything, and Toronto is at the point where they're a game and a half out of the playoffs instead of the play-in. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Raptors minus the 8.5. If you're worried about Detroit playing better in this, because they have played better as of recently, and you think I like the Pistons to cover spreads a lot of the time. I just think the Raptors are going to end up winning this game, and I don't see a way for the Pistons to win, so I'm just taking the spread and saying I hope they cover. It's in my parlay. I don't have a straight bet on it. If you're worried about that, just take the over. Take the over if you're not comfortable with the side on this game. And here, let me get you a number on that over. Yeah, take over 218.5. It's just a little bit too low. That should be around 224, 225. This is what I see the total ending up for this game. Could be even higher. I'm saying safe side. So, I like that over. moving on, we've got Golden State at Dallas. And when I saw this line, it was, well, no, I heard that this line was Golden State minus 1.5 or 2.5. Well, now the line is Golden State plus 2.5. And yes, it's in Dallas. And now my initial thoughts. Golden State's lost 4 of their last 5. They've got to get it going right at some point soon. They still are a top 5, 6 seed no matter what in the Western Conference, and I believe they've just got to start playing better. But they're the 2 seed right now. They're fighting to stay the 2 seed. Memphis, like I said, is a good team who I honestly personally think is going to pass them. But if Golden State has any hopes of winning that 2 seed, they got to win this game against Dallas. Because if you lose this game to Dallas, then it becomes a question, okay, are you going to fall even further? Because Draymond Green really means so much to this team, and we don't know when he's coming back. It's supposed to be soon, and you really need it to be soon, because once he's back, it's still probably going to take a week or 2 of games for him, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry to finally get those minutes together that they've been waiting for. They only got like 3 minutes together when Klay came back for the first time, because Draymond wasn't ready to come back. They were just doing it to have the 3 on the court together, and then they took Draymond out of the game. But yeah, Warriors need to get it going. And Dallas has won 4 of their last 5. Their only loss being to Utah in Utah. Oh yeah, and Golden State's only win being to Portland. I know that's tough to get behind, but they did blow them out like they should. So it was a positive sign, but that was 3 games ago. And I believe Dallas's loss to Utah was also 3 games ago. And I believe Klay is supposed to be playing for this game, so that's just a plus for Golden State in my eyes. I feel like having Klay out there is just, they're going to have to guard him no matter what. Whether he's making his shots or not, you got to respect this game. You got to act like he's going to make his shots regardless. Because if you give him wide open ones, he's going to knock them down. Contested, I don't know if he has his rhythm going quite yet. So at least it just makes a man guard him. At the very least, anyway. And then they played each other 2 games ago where Golden State collapsed. And my initial thoughts were, damn, I've heard a lot of people bringing it up before this game that they think Memphis is passing them. I personally think Memphis is passing them. And seeing that collapse was not good. But this is the one thing that I heard somebody else say. If Golden State doesn't collapse the other night, what is the line? Really ask yourself that. If Golden State doesn't have that collapse and they end up winning by, say, 7, 8 points, what's the line? Because if that's the case, I think Golden State's favored by 3.5, 4.5. And I think that's where it stays. I don't think that line moves like people tried to make it move. The books still put this line out there at 2.5. If they don't collapse like that, it's maybe 5.5 even. I say 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5.5. Somewhere in that range. And then they came out with 2.5. I don't know what news came out that made it swing 4 points. Unless people really just freaking hammered it. But for it to swing 4 points is tough. So I'm going to go against the movement. I say it's an overreaction to the collapse. I think Golden State gets right here. And I'm taking Golden State plus the 2.5. Alright. So for the next game, the next game is the Kings at the Spurs. Alright, in the Kings' last 5, they are 1-4. In the Spurs' last 5, they are 2-3. My initial thoughts are the Spurs should be able to slow Fox down a little bit. And even then, I begin to question myself, and I'm like, wow. I don't know. Because the total on this game right now is 242.5. And I think it's going over. So I don't know how I think they're slowing Fox down. But regardless, I still think the Kings win this game. Well, maybe not win the game, but I think they cover. I think the Kings plus 6.5 is a solid pick for that game. I've got the Spurs might win the game outright, but I don't think they cover 7. That's the biggest thing for me. Is, are you really comfortable taking the Spurs minus 6.5? It's 3 possessions you got to win by. You got to win by 7, which is 3 possessions, and I've seen them cover 7 or more, maybe 4 times this year. And I believe 2 of them were to the Rockets, 1 to the Thunder, and the other was the Magic. And none of those are recent. One of those was the beginning of February. The day after Christmas. There was another one somewhere that I don't remember where it was exactly. And the other one was the first game of the season. But yeah. Where is it? What did I put here? Oh, yeah. Like I put, 6.5 is a lot for teams that are next to each other. So I can't believe I can't read my own handwriting. It's so bad. But yeah. They're next to each other in the standings, and this is a bounce back spot for the Kings. Like, I understand you're probably not doing anything this year, but getting blown out, you've got to come back and have a respectable game. You guys are still professionals. They're professionals. They're gonna come out and play this game. You gotta have some type of anger or fuel in you after you get blown out to want to come out and be respected. You know what I mean? So give me the Kings plus 6.5 here. And then final game of the night. Plain and simple. Fade the Lakers. Quit betting players and bet teams if you're going to bet the spreads on the game. I'm proud of the books for finally having the Lakers as underdogs. It finally happened. They have been favored for so many games, and I don't understand how. And I've been making a decent amount of money from it. And I'm going to try and continue to make more money from it tonight. I literally put all caps, fade the Lakers. But the only thing that does scare me tonight, all games have been within 5s for the Clippers and Lakers, but the Clippers are 3-0. And I don't think I'm pretty sure this Clippers team hasn't lost to the Lakers since before the bubble. Like, they have owned this team for the last 2 years. And they've owned this team while they've been good and while they haven't been good. With Kawhi and PG or without Kawhi and Paul George. So give me the Clippers minus 2.5. Everyone is worried about the Lakers bouncing back at some point. Well, don't try and call it. Instead of betting the games and the spreads and trying to guess when they're gonna fucking finally click, keep betting against them, but bet LeBron's rebounds. And if you don't want to bet against them, just take LeBron's rebounds. He's been going over pretty much every game that AD has been out, and it is a cash cow. So take a bet on that over on LeBron's rebounds or LeBron double-double. LeBron double-double is probably going to be a little bit safer. I don't know what the line is on the rebounds because I haven't looked yet. But, yeah, definitely look into that. LeBron's rebounds have been cashing like crazy. And that concludes our slate for the day. All right. Make sure you get those bets in and get them right. Have a nice night.